Izutsumi is the resident teenager of the Dungeon Meshi universe that loves to remind everyone how lame they actually are. I love her. Imagine going on a fantastical journey inside of a dungeon full of monsters and treasure, looking to complete the heroic quest of saving your sister who was eaten by a dragon. And the whole time, you have a teenager who constantly looks like they just woke up and decided to make fun of you for being stupid. All joking aside, Izutsumi's character was such a risky but great move by the author. We had a really well-established party with Laios' group. Adding someone so obtuse is a risk that could ruin the whole party dynamic massively. But with Izutsumi, the obtuseness and difficulty actually highlights the strengths of each member of the party, while also allowing us as the audience to see a rough around the edges character like Izutsumi develop into a more well-rounded person. She's a character that a lot of fans, from what I can tell, feel a great love or indifference to because of how short her screen time has been so far. Obviously, I don't know the rest of the story yet, or if she does anything major later on, but for me, I love her, and I really want to talk about why I think she is neat. The major reason why I think Izutsumi is such a good character is because of how difficult she is with the others and just basic things in life that she never got the chance to learn. She spent most of her childhood and now teenage life as basically a slave. Can you imagine that? Being cursed to become a beast man, being sold off and taken in by a family of strict upper crust royalty in the East, being constantly talked down to or yelled at for every little thing you do. Constantly feeling like your life isn't as meaningful as someone else because they bought you, because you are unlucky enough to be born and cursed and just abandoned. It's no wonder she had such a difficult time connecting with any of the parties that she's been in, or doing anything but the bare minimum to get by. When I first met her, I felt like she had such a disdain for other people and was just trying to live her own life, her own way. To me, this shows such a strong will that she never stopped looking for a way out, a way to break the curse, to run off and live free from things trying to hold her down. When she finally had the chance to run, a chance to meet someone who could possibly break the curse on her and do what she wanted without anyone controlling her, she took it. I think that's where a lot of her development started coming for us. We finally see her achieve some level of freedom. Though she couldn't turn back into a human, she wasn't held down by the curse placed on her by Maizuru, which, don't get me started on this because I just hate the idea of this as a way to control somebody, especially somebody that you bought. But Izutsumi's development started the moment she met Laios' group and realized that these people were actually treating her with a lot more respect and consideration than any other adult she's met yet. Though there's a lot of different kinds of friction between the characters, Izutsumi does actually listen to them and starts to trust them little by little. The major examples being Senshi and Marcel. Senshi being the one to speak to her as a mentor figure that actually cares about how she turns out, and Marcel being the person to show her genuine care by putting herself in risk to save Izutsumi from harm. I think that's the main reason Izutsumi was so clingy with Marcel in the Golden Kingdom's little hidden area, when she kind of reverted back to a kitten-like personality. She trusted Marcel enough that she knew she would keep her safe. That's not to say she doesn't like Laios or Chilchuck either, but in comparison to the other two, I think that's where her emotional connection with the group as a whole started to fully develop. The reason why I think she is such a compelling character for a lot of people is that they can relate to the free spirit attitude she puts out there, even though she's a little rough around the edges when it comes to technicalities or manners. I think a lot of people can relate to that rebellious, my way is the best way kind of thinking. Izutsumi is, compared to other characters, still very young in her way of thinking and considering things that don't directly relate to her. For instance, when the direwolves showed up to attack, she just left the party to go back to camp. She didn't want to listen to Marcel's lecture on trying new things or pushing her limits because she felt like she already knew what worked best for her. In a series with a lot of jaded and seasoned adventurers, it's nice to see a fresh face come into situations that allow the older characters to show off their experience and wisdom. Without them, Izutsumi would still be stuck spinning her wheels with Shuro and his group. Obviously, she's very skilled in things she does know. She knows how to fight, hunt, and use her beastman abilities to her advantage. She's capable but unrefined in more foundational skills like cooking, nurturing relationship with other people, thinking more deeply about situations and people that she finds herself involved with. Compare that with someone like Laios, who is constantly taking the information he reads, sees, and experiences, and using that to keep everyone prepared for new situations on the horizon. Though I know Laios is imperfect and has a lot of issues with things like dealing with other people, he shows that he's mature enough to see outside of himself and see how it affects other people. When Izutsumi first showed up in the series, I didn't think much of her, and I thought she would be on the same level of presence as Namori, showing up every so often, but otherwise, Laios and the party remain the main focus. I think that was really narrow-minded of me, in retrospect. I believed that the story would follow a traditional anime style, where the party would remain static, but the cast of side characters would just filter in and out on a regular basis. I think if the story continued with that kind of style, it would start to have felt a little bit more stale after just a little bit longer. Izutsumi was the perfect addition to add some more flavor to the series. Izutsumi is the perfect presence for the group, bringing skilled expertise in fighting, but being so unpolished that she causes a lot of issues by being a difficult personality. We see adults actually being mentors and respectful figures in her life, helping her broaden her views and keeping her safe with them as they teach her new skills. Having her be connected to Shuro and his family as being a retainer, but pretty much a slave that is treated way too harshly by everyone around her, except the beautiful Sultade, gives her a sympathetic but understandable backstory that people can connect with her current attitude. She's the youthful energy, the rebellious spirit, and the unbreakable will in the series that, in my opinion, can only be portrayed by a teenager growing into their own identity and freedom. I think what's next for her in Season 2 is probably more fights, but possibly situations where she has to step up to the plate while the other party members are busy, dead, fighting, or incapacitated. I feel like that's the most natural next step for her to become more well-rounded and closer to her goal of true freedom. I don't know if that will be against someone like Thistle, because I think that'll be a major task that has to be done by the entire party instead of just one person. But I think she'll have to deal with the monster, or monsters, as the vanguard for the party. This could mean she's the only one able to avoid attacks, or the only one who could sense a monster coming. Or maybe she's a sole survivor from an attack and has to go out to find a way to bring everyone back to life. Either way, I think that's where her story is going, and I think the focus will be on her becoming a more well-rounded person as the adventure continues. She might still have a lot of the abrasiveness to her still, but I think she'll be much better off after the adventure ends. She'll be truly ready to live a life that's just her own. She'll be an adult. Izutsumi has been through some of the worst things imaginable, but she never lost herself when it mattered. No matter how bad things got, she never gave up on escaping her fate, on being free, on living life the way she wanted to. I really admire that about her. That kind of confidence to know who you are, what you want, and where you're going without letting doubt or despair hold you back. It's something I really respect. She's the kind of character that proves how important it is to believe in yourself while allowing yourself to change. To experience everything life has to offer: relationships, food, adventures, failures, victories, and letting those things shape you without losing sight of who you are. We're not the same people we were when we were younger, and that can either be a good or bad thing depending on a lot of different factors, but deep down, I think we all just want to be our true, authentic selves. And to get there, we have to go through so much learning and growing until we become the people we're meant to be, who we want to be. We can't deny our past, our lives, our memories, our experiences, but we can learn from them and appreciate them, carrying them with us for the rest of our lives. They shape us, and they come with us into every new adventure, helping us understand ourselves and the world around us just a little bit more, just like Izutsumi will from now on because of Laios' group. If you made it this far, I wanted to say thank you for watching. Izutsumi was a surprise character, but one I really started to love. I wasn't sure how to feel about her at first, but the more I learned about her, the more I saw her as the perfect addition to the show's main cast. I can't imagine a show without our silly little cat girl who loves to scratch, nap, eat, and insult everyone she can. I wanted to say thank you again for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.